I'm going to go over how to do the ghostly editing. So for this example, this tutorial, I'm using the website that is called photopea.com. Of course, you can use Photoshop as well for your example, but if you do not have Photoshop on your computers, this is a really great alternative for what we are doing. Once you are ready, you have your photographs that you're going to be using. Today I'm using two photographs. I'm using a very simple background, and then on top of that I'm going to use a photograph of a portrait. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine them, and I'm going to turn my portrait into a more transparency to give it more of a ghostly look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the photograph that I'm going to use for the background. And in order to do that, I'm going to click on Open from Computer. And that photo that I want to use is saved on my desktop. So I'm going to scroll through my desktop, and there's my photograph that I want to use. So this is my landscape, and I did choose something that's a little bit more simple, a little bit more minimalist, so that way there's not a whole lot of distractions and our focus is on our ghostly image. Now, because this is supposed to be for Halloween, I probably want to change the mood of my image. And right now the colors in my photograph are really bright, so that doesn't really give that illusion that it's kind of spooky or Halloween time. So in order to change the color to black and white, I'm going to go up to Image, then to Adjustments. And I can either do hue and saturation and bring the saturation down to the left to get rid of the color, or I can simply click on black and white. Okay, so there we go for our photograph. Now I'm ready to add in my ghost. So I'm going to add my second photo by going to File, Open, and Place. I'm going to search for my photograph, which is right here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the eraser tool to erase my background. I can go up to the options bar up here, and I can change the size of my brush, what type of brush I want to use, if I want a soft edge or a hard edge around my person that I'm cutting. So I'm just going to go in, and I'm just going to erase all of this. Okay, so for the most part, I've cut out or erased out my background. It's not perfect, but for the sake of time, I just quickly went in and erased out all the background except for the area of my subject that I want to keep. Now, if I want to make my subject bigger, I could go to Edit, Free Transform, and I can go in and enlarge him if needed and kind of move him around my screen. Now, of course, since he's closer to the foreground, he's going to be bigger. If I wanted to place him maybe standing a little bit further back, maybe in the center here, I could scale him down as well. Once I place him, I now need to turn him to fit with our spooky theme. So I also need to take out the saturation by going to Image, Adjustments. Oops, sorry about that. And black and white, to turn this layer black and white as well. And of course I can go in, maybe I want to add a little bit more brightness just to kind of give him a little bit more ghostly resemblance. Okay. And then in order to make him feel like a ghost, I'm going to make this layer more transparent. So if I go over here to opacity, I'm going to select where the percentage is there, and I'm going to bring down my percentage. Now notice that the lower that I go, the more transparent that he becomes. I don't like where he's standing right now because I have kind of like this black shadow from the tree going through him. So maybe I want to move him down. I actually think I might like him a little bit bigger. Kind of giving the illusion that I have a ghost represented in my photograph. Now, if you want this to get a little bit more eerie, of course you can go in and you can Google like old photographs or old portrait photography and kind of get more of like this nostalgic older feel as well.